15 ways to spot fake vintage Juicy Couture. Number 13, mismatched numbers. How to match Juicy Couture tracksuit pieces with limited information. Now, a good scammer can successfully upcharge you by making you think something's more valuable than it is. Ripping tags off of a real Juicy Couture item and then attaching them to a fake was extremely common during the Y2K era. So how can you tell if someone's done that? Well, there are some easy tells and there are some harder tells. This video will share the easy tells, pointing out which numbers to look for and how to compare them without needing to reference any additional charts. Step 1, mental quicksort. Do you remember when you were a kid playing any kind of matching game? The matching itself isn't really the hard part. It's sorting through and disregarding all the stuff you don't need to focus on the stuff that you do. Once you push all the miscellaneous junk to the side, it's a lot easier to see what goes where. Juicy's tags and numbers went through a lot of changes over the years, so first we need to make sure we're all on the same page and looking at the right numbers. Step 2, find the style number, which is a lot easier said than done. Here's an example Juicy tag that I literally just made up so that I could show you what to look for and what to mentally exclude. I have immediately highlighted in red all the random text that you probably don't need. And then on this slide, I've highlighted in yellow all the various numbers and abbreviations and letters that might come before something that could actually be the style number. Are all of these numbers important? Yeah, or else they wouldn't waste the ink and time printing them. But are they essential for you? No, not usually not. Sometimes it's easier to sort out what's not the style number through the process of exclusion. If a tag includes any of these abbreviations or words before a number, it's probably not the style number. These include size, RN, CA, cut, PO, ref, UPC, vendor, date, or percentage. Imagine putting them on cards and just pushing them off the table, just like the opening example with playing memory. So we know what the style number could look like. Now we have to sniff around for it. Where are the style numbers on Juicy tags? Is it uniform? Could they be anywhere? Unfortunately, the latter. They could be literally anywhere. Here are some examples sorted by year. From 1997 to 2007, most of your style numbers are going to be between 4 and 5 numbers with an optional 1 to 3 letter suffix. The first tag there is the old white rectangles, which you'll recognize from the tracksuit video, style number 1433. Then you have the jeans style number in the middle, 2703, and then the 3 optional letters there, GMF. On the color-coded tag to the right, you'll see style number 10773. All of those style numbers are found towards the bottom of the tag. Around that same era, between 2002 to 2007, this is sometimes called the beach line or surf royalty or beach baby, any of a number of different things. Beach had several different styles of style numbers at this time. They started with a 6-digit number, 195055, all the way down at the bottom, and then they move it to a letter plus 5-digit number, and those are usually found more towards the top. The middle one shows Y78326, and the one on the right, K315101. If it has a Y, it's most likely going to be for an adult, and if it's a K, it's going to be for a kid. Around 2007, with the rebranding and transition into the pink Scotty Shield era, the style numbers also changed to being a combination of 8 letters and numbers. Usually some combination of letters at the beginning, often JGMU for standard items, and then 4-digit numbers at the end, but really you can have a number or a letter in any position. These 8-digit style numbers can be found in the middle of the tag, on the bottom of a tag, on the top of a tag, on the back reverse of a tag, on a little mini tab attached to it. Good luck. It's really anywhere. So it is a difficult thing to sometimes do, but you can find it. Once you found the style number, check that the numbers and the eras align of the styles. It's an inexact science, and I can't always say if something is or isn't a match from just a couple pictures of tags. But there are 2 ways I can tell you something is always a match, and 1 way I can tell you they definitely aren't. A, likely to align ABCs. If you have a tag with those optional little letter add-ons, it's going to be a lot easier for you. That's because the styles that have that letter add-on will always go together regardless of the number that comes in front of them. This set was an example from a question that I answered on Reddit a couple of weeks ago about finding the matching bottoms to this velour jacket. They both have the optional letter suffix ST. If the pieces don't match from there, it'll be very obvious, as in one is white and one is olive green. It won't be confusing. If someone tries to sell you a match where one piece has a letter suffix and the other doesn't, just be cautious. Remember, Juicy has more than 800 officially cataloged colors so far. The likelihood of random matches without additional verification is low. The letter suffixes are more common in the early years and tend to peter out by 2008-2009. B. 1, 2, 3s, immediately sequential numbers. In the pink Scotty Shield era, there are fewer and fewer letter suffixes, but we do get longer and more coded style numbers in general, the 8-digit numbers that we were just talking about. If those style numbers go sequentially, there's a good chance you can confirm a match. In the example tracksuit located here, we have JGMU 3955 and JGMU 3956. Perfect match. How to tell they definitely aren't going to match? Shapes. Remember the matching game from the start of the video? In these initial video tips that we're going through, you don't need to have mastery of what any of these tags mean. You just need to notice that they're different. Generally speaking, the pink Scotty Shield era isn't going to match a piece from the color-coded year era, which isn't going to match a piece from the 90s tag, and it's probably not going to match a piece from the transition tag either. Even if the colors of a hoodie and a pair of pants look similar on your screen, Juicy specialists know that that is very deceptive. Be suspicious if someone is selling you a set that has mismatched tag eras. There are a handful of cases where you can do that, usually with designs and repeated glitter speak themes, things that get reprinted again and again, like Cupcake Tour. But even then, the colors aren't necessarily going to align exactly. To drive the point home, this is a partial list of all of the reds. There's probably more even that should be added to this list, and that's just reds, not purples, not pinks, red. Step number 4, check the style number against the store sales tag if it is listed as new with tags. If someone's trying to sell you a new with tags item, at the very least, make sure that the numbers on the tag and the garment actually match. Here we have an actual listing that is a perfect match. You can see the style number in the upper left-hand corner of the sales tag, JGMU 0852, and that same style number printed on the interior white materials tag. Perfect match. Here's an example of a mismatch. It's from an actual sold item that lists the piece as new with tags. There are several reasons that this tag doesn't match the garment that it's on, but they're more involved explanations. We'll come back to them later. For now, especially if you're just dipping your toe in, it's hard enough to follow beginner identification and matching rules. Here we have a tag on the left that says the style is 20109, and that does not match the style number that's listed underneath the logo tag. To recap, mismatched numbers are a big sign that you're either looking at a fake or you're looking at someone trying to upcharge you. Look to confirm that there are identical letters at the end of the style numbers if your style numbers include them. Also look for if they happen to be in sequential order. Avoid mixing different tag eras, a pink Scotty Shield with a color-coded, anything like that. Also avoid any sales tags whose style number doesn't actually match the item's tag. Ignore the numbers that you don't need, and you'll be able to spot most of the time that the wool is getting pulled over your eyes. Follow for more.